Only thing you guys your word, I put that shit in my mama. Always gonna be money. Always gonna be hoes. Only thing you guys your word, I put that shit in my mama. What? Literally playing in my bed right now. Only thing you guys your word, I put that shit in my mama. Welcome to chat, everybody that has just joined. Welcome, welcome. Let's see here. Dude, I was gonna play one while you were gone. I'm a very impatient person. I don't know if you noticed.
You're chilling, bro.
Alright, I'm gonna do duos.
I did whatever the time I said too. That was kind of funny.
Actually, I just turned my stream on. Like last game, I had at least 6 kills. Where I don't know, I'm genuinely getting better, and I haven't hit clips like that in a while or like ever. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I should turn my stream on. I'm gonna
streaming on
I'm gonna stream on
Twitch
YouTube right now. Actually.
Oh, YouTube. Okay.
I am on YouTube. Yes. Let's see here. Actually, I get more exposure when I go on YouTube. I don't know. Twitch does a bad job of like promoting and pushing out your videos, whereas if you just stream on YouTube Shorts in particular. If I stream for like 2 or 3 hours, I'll have at least 100 people come and watch my shit. You know what I mean?
I do agree. Actually, run one without me.
Okay.
Run. Take care of something.
I hear you. Oh shit. What happened to the fucking shit? Okay. MLT in 2001. Let's see. Yes, it's me. Oh my god. It's not that deep. Gotta keep at it, buddy. Okay, here we go. There's chat.
This win is ours. I don't settle. I'm not made that way.
That's perfect.
Legends don't fly,
Okay.
but I like to rise to the occasion.
What's up, everybody? We're just playing some Apex.
Introducing your champion.
You can run.
you can't hide. Maybe it's not even worth running.
I bet that's a good spot. Woman's intuition.
Oh God. Right when I start streaming, my fucking everything
Eyes
goes
on
to
the
shit.
prize.
Hold on. Give me 1 second. Ooh, get that shit out of here. Get that shit out of here.
I'm hitting yeah, tomorrow. But he definitely just turned the internet off.
Oh shit.
But yeah, GG's, Bob.
Thank you, man. And have a good rest of your night, bro. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go pass out, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Under fire.
Upload more clips, bud.
Type shit. I'm streaming on YouTube if you want to watch.
Yeah, upload more.
I'm actually, I think I got like 10 times better after you put me onto that sensitivity. Like I've been practicing it. Well, honestly, the one thing that made me 10 times better was going in the firing range, and for like an hour, yeah, no aim assist. For an hour each day, I've been doing that.
And now that you're used to the no aim assist, most banglers can't nerf you.
Exactly, dude. You're so right. And like I've been noticing it that like my aimage is so much
If
better.
you get good enough with no aim assist, you can just permanently turn the aim assist off, and then you can just slam people while playing banglers.
I don't know. The aim assist. Do you think that's even like a viable option? I feel like aim assist is always good to have on, right?
I know people that have aim assist on.
Okay, interesting. Because I definitely can get used to it.
Just like turn your aim assist off fully for a week.
Okay.
Enemy here. Safe to touch down. We're already in the next ring. Box 3, I got radar lock.
I'm gonna stall, hopefully, hoping that my internet comes back on.
Say that again.
I was trying to stall to see if my internet turned back on, but I don't think it.
There's a perfectly good upgrade just waiting for me.
Ooh, care package on the way. I like the sound of that.
Let's get some air talk. My weapons in hand and ready to die.
That's not your YouTube. What the?
Them dead.
It should be Bob TYB, and it's like a black and blue.
There's a. I typed it wrong, and there's an e-girl.
Oh, I'm dead. Dude, my camera froze again, dude. That is,
Your camera froze, and it looks like you are dead.
it's so annoying, dude. That's one thing that like, I don't know why, but every time my Wi-Fi like fucking fluctuates, my camera freezes. I don't
Your
know.
Wi-Fi, yeah.
I don't know how to
Your
fix
Wi-Fi? What's up with your Wi-Fi?
it. Literally, I mean,
Yeah, what's up with your Wi-Fi?
That's an upgrade waiting.
your Wi-Fi's dog shit.
No, it's my dad.
Oh, is your father?
Just not that.
Wow. I'm gonna shot like 2 people.
Yeah, I hope you like that screenshot I just took in my gen chat.
Let me look at it. Oh, is it me fucking looking like a retard?
I hope that you get there.
I say whatever I want.
Charging on my shield.
Say the hard R right now.
I don't know about that.
Let's check out that way.
Hey, it's Bobby. He's back.
No, I'm not.
What up? Oh, damn. Seriously? Fuck.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go sleep.
Okay. Yeah, get some sleep, man.
What did
always
it
play.
use? Look at all these YouTube emojis. What are these, bro? What are these?
What are those?
What are those?
Okay, alright.
Those
So,
emojis, bro.
I'm just gonna go to Task Manager real quick and just, like, shit that I end, it will end up, like, coming back. Like, how do I get that to stop? I'll end this.
Depends on what it is. On certain ones, you might have to uninstall the actual app that it's attached to,
Okay.
and then some of them, like, there's a way to like lock it so that they don't come back. But I'm not too sure how to do that right now.
Getting goon really hard.
What? Okay. I want to charge up Sentinel. That shit is fucking insane.
Charge Sentinel.
You know what else is
Iron
insane?
Sight. What?
The low taper fade meme is still so massive. I'm sorry.
Low taper fade me in the booty hole? Is that what you just said?
What?
Because I can do that.
Oh, so they're
I also just took a shot, by the way.
you're starting.
Oh,
You're
that's
gonna.
why.
he's
Dude, it's
starting
fucking
this.
2 in the morning, bro. I was low-key, like, fucking pissed all day today. It's a bad excuse, I guess, but when you work for 8 hours, come home, hop in Apex, straight to cheaters. Dude, that's so annoying.
Yeah, I can see that. We were playing ranked earlier with one of my buddies, and yeah, that was something else.
He was not bad. He's not bad. I will say that, bro. So
Yeah. Are you talking about the one we just played with?
yeah, I think that's what we're talking about.
No, it was a different one. He's
Okay.
crazy. Like, his aim is something else. But
Liza?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
we were just running into cheaters to that game and all that.
Dude, what the fuck? I'm making you jump master. My fucking FPS is at 40.
I'm the jump
Why
What
is
do you
that?
want,
Trust me.
Use your own discretion. I'm looking at something right now. I should be good in the next like second. Let's see here.
I'm gonna try and land us here because it looks like we have two teams here.
All right,
Take
cool.
a 2-team fight at
Oh,
Cito.
Bob.
Yeah.
Hydrado wants roller movement left.
Oh, what? On us.
Enemies drop down near me.
His Discord name is Flow Status.
I need help. Bad.
Right?
Enemy down. Now, first blood. Return its Stardust.
Bro, what?
I'm getting shot at. You're coming with me, dog.
Dog shooters.
Say what? Whole squad, no. We're all inside the room. Good. Let's explore this way. Backpack here. Got an extended energy mag here. Level 3.
Yeah, I'm out, dude.
All right, bro.
I guess.
Yeah, good. Oh, Bobby, before you go, I want to tell you this. So, I've been streaming on YouTube for the past, like, 20 minutes. 53 people have already stopped by and viewed my thing. So, like, that's why I do it on YouTube. It's like they actually push your shit out to people. You know what I mean? Like, same on TikTok.
Let's glide.
I just don't have enough followers to do it on
Are you
TikTok.
on shorts or just normal?
I'm on shorts. And that's the trick, to do it on shorts.
How are you doing on shorts?
In our building.
Dude, literally, so, one second, I actually gotta help him out. I got him. Alright, so basically, I changed the resolution from it's like 1920 over 1080. Make it 1080 over 1920, and it will do it in portrait mode. And if you just stream in portrait mode, then it will automatically put it in shorts for YouTube. So like that's what I did for the Twitch, and it didn't do it. You know what I mean? Remember I did it on Twitch, and it just stayed on the fucking shit. But like yeah.
I used a input or not input a plugin to do double screen.
Oh okay.
One's vertical and one's not.
Right. That's actually
You think about that because that is the thing you can do.
okay, cool.
There's a specific a plugin that you can just use for TikTok vertical, and then you can have.
Right, because I've never multi-streamed before, but I think I might try that out. I just don't want my PC to get fucked up, you know what I mean? Or like my... Oh shit, 1 second, I need to focus up. Holy.
I'm sending it to you right now.
Good looks. I got a drone on you, Dark.
Rising in here.
Give me 1 second. I'm actually charging up my Sentinel because I'm a dirty slut.
Yeah, we
New team. I'm backing up here. Be careful. Take the drone back if you need.
Oops, I'm on my DJ Khaled shit. We the best. He's in this building right here. Classic.
Get inside and get right, alright?
That's fine. 1 second.
The classic for a little bit. Classic dead.
Enemy down.
He's rezzing in here. Push that.
Reloading.
I can't walk in.
Okay.
Gas.
Damn.
Knock. 3 knock.
I've got some hits on me.
Like all the way to this corner right here. God, that gas.
Dude, Classic is actually so annoying.
Oh,
I've got some hits on me.
My fucking controller just died. And dude, my controller died, bro. How does that work? I need to understand how that works. So my controller only turns off randomly when I'm streaming. What is that about, dude? You know what I mean?
yeah.
You know that shit, you know how that shit happens to me? It hasn't happened to me all day, and then right when I turn my stream on, my control I literally just basically freeze, bro. Like what is that about? What the fuck is that about? You know what I mean? I don't know what to attribute that to. Like I look at my controller and the light on it is off. I have to disconnect it, reconnect it for it to turn back on. Yeah, and my face cam freezes. Dude, and my face cam freezes. And my whole game like does a big lag, like a big stutter. And like it has to just be OBS. I don't know what the fuck is up.
Yeah.
That's retarded. That is actual fucking
Oh shit.
It just did that fucking shit again, bro. I literally want to stream. Like Bobby keeps asking me like, "Oh, you should stream every day." Bro, I can't. I fucking can't. And this is a new thing. This has not been happening a lot.
Actually, when did it start happening? Like, can you remember?
Like a week ago. Bobby said LMAO. No, dude, this shit is
were there
fucked up.
any new like updates like that you did? Are there any new updates that you did and stuff, or?
I don't know, man. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I don't think so. Maybe there is. But I don't know.
One way or another.
Actually fucking retarded. Update drivers. Yeah,
Actually,
I already
you should
tried
probably
all
update your
that.
drivers.
No. The thing is, all my drivers are up to date because I've tried to fix this for the past week, and I came to the conclusion that OBS is just retarded.
Let's go.
I've updated all my drivers. I can literally show you all my drivers are up to date because I checked yesterday just to make sure, and that's why I was just streaming yesterday because it was still fucking up. And I just went to my task manager, got rid of everything that was running in the background. All I got is Discord and fucking OBS and Apex.
You're gonna have to fight that dude. that landed on
An
me.
enemy landed near me. Watch yourself. Got my weapon in hand. Let's
I'm
do
just
this.
dropping it.
Oh shit. Hold up.
Oh, is it because you swapped?
Yeah, it's what it is. What it is. I actually don't give a fuck about that right now. Fixes all my issues. Reinstall Windows. Okay, word. That actually might be. I might actually do that. I might actually do that.
You're gonna have to re-download everything though. Just letting you know.
All inside this
Oh
room.
really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's like ways to patch it, but like if you're having like really big problems, the best way is to just reinstall it.
Bro, the RE45 is broken, bro. No, literally, like, there's no way he should have been able to fucking one-clip me right there.
Consider yourself lucky. There are more creative ways to die.
Oh, I was shot from behind. Oh. I was shot at by 2 different people. Bro, what the fuck kind of fucking death recap is this shit? Are you seeing this, Bobby? What is this? What the fuck? I'm about to take a picture of this and put it in a group chat, bro. This is retarded. This is the most retarded death recap I've ever seen in my life. Like, talk about broken. Bro, what? I'm putting in the general diss chat. The general chat, bro. That's a diss chat. Actually, is low-key a good word. Diss chat. That's a diss chat. Look what I just said. Look at this stupid ass death recap, bro. I super glued on him, ready to like one clip. Put your OBS file on a USB drive, like the scene that you're. Okay.
Bob, is your monitor on like a stool?
Yeah, you fucking slut. I play in my bed. And the only way to get my monitor close to my bed was to put like a chair.
That's awesome.
And then I have my setup's actually pretty dope. I have a flat screen TV like manted on the wall. Then I have a smaller monitor under it, and it's like, so basically like if I turn the game off, I can still like watch shit on TV or watch it on YouTube and use my PC while I'm in my bed. It's pretty lit.
Oh, okay.
Pretty lit. Pretty lit. But I'm a lazy ass motherfucker. I just don't leave my bed. Yeah, send your mess of a setup in the chat in the general. No, Bobby's talking in my my chat, and he said, "Do you want to see my mess of a setup?" I kind of do actually. I want to see how, because when he sent a video of him playing, or I might have just been watching his stream on Twitch, but he had like a Mountain Dew like soda can in the middle of his desk while he was playing and shitting on kids. I thought that was funny. I actually thought that was really funny.
Yeah, I need to still like fully clean my stuff down the line when I get the chance. But yeah. Oh, the triple monitor setup. Okay.
Yes, sir.
The furry mask on the.
That shit is kind of dirty, twin. I can't even.
He also just has the worst lighting. It makes them 20 times worse.
Dude, it almost looks like dystopian. Like, holy
Yeah,
fuck.
like, if he had like if he wasn't using the iPhone camera flash, bro, he would like that shit would look nicer if he had like this decent light setup.
I'm dead.
Bro.
This is your
My mom just gave them mask.
I think my shit's fine now. Bro, I have 4 people watching me right now. And I have, in the past, since I've been streaming, like, what, at least 25-30 minutes, I've had at least 85 people come and watch my stream. That is great exposure. I don't give a fuck what anybody says, right?
No.
Let's go that way.
My mom just gave the mask? Huh? Oh.
The one in the picture, yeah.
I see.
He's posting pictures.
There's a team leading up top with you. Team up top with you. That lifeline had no audio on her. It's crazy.
I leveled up and earned an upgrade too. Reloading.
I don't know why they tried to punch me out, bro. That was kind of dumb on their part.
Because I complain about the lighting. I always complain about the lighting because I'm a sexy.
Let's get some air. Now that's an upgrade. Extra
Oh,
supply.
no drone for me, man?
Firepower is key.
Oh yeah, dude, my fault. That's actually
No,
crazy.
you're chilling. That shit was kind of funny to me.
I was looking at chat.
Back here.
A little distracted. Just a little distracted.
Yeah. Bobby's making you sell.
Harvesters are now available.
Honestly, dude, Bobby always makes me sell. Let's be real. He's like, come res me. I'm like, I'm in a compromised position. Let me get my shit together before I even think about resing your little slut ass. People fighting over here
Let's
ish.
explore that way.
He said, oh hell nah. I'm dead.
Oh, looks like I'm using the prowler right now. Oh, I'm coming, Bobby. It's gonna take me a second. I was looking for a different gun. I know.
You're
Fucking mad.
good, you're good. I'm trying to think if I want the R9 or the R31. I'm probably gonna keep the R31.
New kill leader.
Right there.
As outgone.
I mean, yeah, it's a pea shooter, but you know, it's our pea shooter, right?
It's my pea shooter. I love it. No matter what. Oh, I found a Spitfire. I'm taking that. Fuck it.
Never mind.
Fuck what everybody
The
says.
beefier brother showed up.
Oh god.
Firepower is key.
They're right here.
They're both 50.
Halo's out.
Nice.
Get inside and get
Oh
right.
damn! Why did you throw the halo?
It's on Himothy. It gives me a good chance to push up on him without the melee.
I couldn't see him, bro.
Enemy
I'm taking all of his shit because he's stupid.
Overport right there.
Goofy ass lifeline not wanting to be lifeline. Shake my head. I always thought I would be 10 times better on a movement character, but it is what it is. I put in all this time as lifeline, dude. Like fuck. She is, the funny thing is she still has some movement. I was good with her before they even added the glider.
What?
My night ended up.
My orders still charged.
Yeah, okay, Mom. What happened?
It's not funny because you know how I was just gonna take a breather and go to the drive-in theater and just relax, right?
Yeah.
And then Sparta was like, "I'm gonna go with you. I want to go with you." So I was like, "Okay, fine, right?" So we ended up going to
I'm
the
gonna glide
drive-in
on
theater.
you. Oh my god.
And you know, it pink. There wasn't like how it used to be when I used to take you, kiddo.
Oh.
Everything was so.
Here, take dog.
What?
When the movie was
Did you kill him? Oh, you should have. Hey,
dark, people were like leaving in the middle of the movie.
is that Mama Dark? It is Mama
And then,
Dark.
Sparta-
Yeah, it is.
And then you know Sparta being Sparta, right?
Yeah.
He was like, so we were just like talking, and then you know I really wanted to see Nobody too, right? 'Cause-
Yeah. You liked the first one. I remember you were
Yeah,
talking
I
about
really
it. Yeah.
like the first one, and so right then and there it was intermission. He decides to go try and grab some food, and there was no
Go
food.
that way.
So now he's angry in the car, and I'm just looking at it.
Watch out.
And he was like, "Oh, well, you know, we could just leave, and I'll just buy you a movie ticket." And at that point, I was just like, "Dude, you know, because I'm trying to have a good night just to relax, right?"
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Let's just go." And I was just, and he goes, "And I can't stay here if I don't have any food." And I'm like,
That's
"Dear-"
crazy. You should, you
And
should
I was
just get
like-
up. What?
And I was just like, "Dear God, right? You freaking child." Anyways, so I was just like, "All right, fine. We're gonna, like, we'll just leave, right?" And he was like, "Oh, I'll just take you out to the movie the next time, or we could watch the movie at the basement of my house, you know, once it comes out."
Okay.
And he was like, "I got better speaker systems." And I'm just like, "That's okay. How about you buy me a pack of cigarettes?" Before I freaking strangle you, child. Really get out. And, you know, we left the theater. But on the way, he's so upset, or whatever. He ends up in the car. I'm not walking down the
Oh my
pole.
god, I just showed that
He
guy.
had a pole.
Our car?
Yes.
He hit a pole and.
Yeah, where we park. You know, because they have markers, you know? And so we were just like,
Oh, they're both up here.
he seems like that's some white girl shit because I usually don't trust white girl shit. And I was just like, dude, leave it be. That's okay, right?
Trying to peek at me.
You're gonna
At
die,
this
bro.
point, I'm just like, it's okay,
Yeah.
right? This part's difficult, right? So I was just like, fine, we'll just like, and then he was like, we'll just head home. That's fine. So we got back, right? And then, you know, you remember I made him the sandwich. So I was like, oh, you have cooked food, and I was like, there's food, and he was like, okay, but he wanted me to make the sandwich. So next thing you know, he's all like sad and depressed or whatever. And I'm just like, dude, come on, man. Like, just perk up a little bit, right? And he was like, well, nothing's been going right today all day. And I was just like, oh my god. Oh dear God. You know, I'm really not going alcohol the fuck, right? Anyways, I ended up getting.
Damn it.
So I was gonna have a drink, and then he got upset because he was like, why don't you just take one sip and I'll just drink it when I get home. And then he
I
got
thought the
upset,
ass
and then
dropped
he opened
down.
it, and I was like, you know, I just had a sip, and it was
I'm getting
sugar free.
pissed,
I was
holy.
like, oh, that's so disgusting, right?
Attention, the champion has been eliminated.
Survey beacon there.
Only thing you guys in world I put that shit in my mama.
Survey beacon.
Oh,
That
God.
location interests me.
Damn it, Bobby.
Replicator there. We'll be well positioned there.
Oh, poor guy.
No, he's laughing along.
Well, anyways, so then I'm like driving him home, right? And then he already chugged the drink in like less than 20 minutes. Fuck, oh my god, right?
Sounds like me.
Like, so, I'm driving, he was like, well, I want some more. And I was like, oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. He goes, please. And I was like, you know? So I ended up taking him to the gas station, only for us to walk in. And then it turns out it was after midnight. So there was no way. Fine. I was just
This is the worst ads I've seen in my life.
You know, seriously? Because I'm like, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways, so I ended up, you know, taking home. He was just like, oh, and I was trying to be polite, and he knew I was a little bit upset with him because I'm like, dude, I get that times are rough and I get things are hard, but you can't live your life.
Did your chat not send? I don't think so. Last thing you said is that Mama Dark.
At least make some happy memories for the day to equate out the crappy. You know?
Yeah.
So anyways, I ended up
Bro,
driving back, and
YouTube,
that
I'm
was
dead.
supposed to be my
Do you like my Spitfire, Bobby? My Spitfire Loki goes, but Spitfire PK is probably my best
Of
loadout.
that location.
For sure. Ask if she's good looking. She sounds good looking, I'm not gonna lie. No disrespect.
more than several years? Anyway.
Enemy
that
far
was-
Never mind.
You know what I'm saying?
Can't say the 3-letter word for any. For THEY for they?
And I'm like, you know.
Why is Bob moaning? You're the one moaning.
What are you gonna get? accomplish your dreams and goals first. There's no need for a relationship. Especially if you're a child.
A care package has touched down over there.
You didn't think you were gonna get anyway.
Dude, I wish my mom was this fucking cool. Holy shit.
For fuck's sake.
She'll walk in the room and be like, "You're on the game at 2:40 in the morning."
Repeat the song real quick.
No, you can't say the 3-letter word for a good-looking
Say hello.
person.
Hello?
Hi! Oh, you can hear me? What's up?
My son just put his headphones on my head.
Oh, awesome! Oh my god, I heard your whole
Change
conversation,
it to speaker real
and
quick.
I was low-key very entertained.
Let me see. I can change it real quick. And
I hadn't, yeah.
here, try saying something real quick. Let's see.
What are you trying to do, kiddo?
You want me to say something?
There we go. Yeah, I want to use this.
Okay,
I'm gonna
okay.
take the headphones off, 'cause
Oh, okay.
he's on speaker.
Oh, hello.
Hopefully it's not reverbing into this. Straight.
No, it's actually, I think it's good.
Okay. Yeah, she can hear you now.
Yeah.
Awesome!
Yeah, that was my supposed to be relaxed night for myself.
Have you known this guy for a while?
Yes. We have known him since what, 2019? Like back when I was still in middle
Oh,
school.
it's earlier than that. It was like
2017? Jeez.
yeah.
Serve beacon there.
But to say, you made the comment about how he finished a whole bottle of something, like a whole like beer or something, before like right when you were driving him home. I was like, sounds like me. I was like, I can do that.
No, it was at the house. You know, because no way. He had already finished it at the house after I made him a sandwich.
You said, bro, just buy me a pack of cigarettes already. Like, goodness gracious. I felt that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've been playing Apex with your son for the past like 4 days. I met him 4 days ago. One of the most genuine, coolest people I've ever met in my life.
Oh, well, thank you.
Honestly, yeah.
appreciate
I
it.
can tell he was raised right, for sure.
Aw. Thank you. I tried. I'm just lucky, okay?
Hey, sometimes there's an element of luck, you know what I mean? But I think you did a great job.
No. I'm definitely lucky and blessed to have a kid like him. I kid you not. Like, every year I was raising him. Like, when he turned 5, and I was just, like, thinking about myself when I was 5, and I was like, thank you, God, that he is nothing like me, because I think about stuff I did when I was 5.
Right.
And I was like, oh, thank you, God. He's a good kid. That's how it is every birthday of his.
That's actually awesome. That's great. Well, it was nice meeting you. It was really nice meeting you, actually.
Yeah, and you guys enjoy your game.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just came in to tell him about my night because he was like, what the heck is going on?
At least it's over, right?
Yeah, no, I'm planning on winding down, and I was just like, it's okay, you know?
Yeah.
And he's a good kid, you know, just, you know how it goes. Young generations nowadays.
This younger generation is crazy. Like, I'm 23. I'm talking about the 15, 16-year-olds. Those motherfuckers are crazy nowadays. They are out of this. They are insane.
Oh my God.
I know a couple of them, bro. That shit is, yeah, no.
Target acquired here.
I'm like, oh my.
I don't even know how all this stuff, like, how it all changed so much, you know?
Right.
Like in my day, none of us, you know, all of us had our dreams, our goals, you know, relationships were something that would be later.
Yeah.
Like, here in this state, there's like 12-year-olds having kids.
It's actually wild. It's insane, and it's because technology has gotten so advanced. Social media is just running people's lives at this point. And I was introduced to like Instagram, Snapchat when I was about 13, 14, 15, but it wasn't advanced to the point where like I knew about a lot of like I was still a kid. You know what I mean? I feel like you got like 14, 15-year-olds trying to act like adults. It's
Yeah, and that's the problem is I think the younger generations grow up too fast without realizing, like, it's kind of like the talk I had with my son. I said, don't live a bunch of everyone else and you learn to do you because you you only get one childhood, right?
Right.
The rest of your life is an adult. And all these kids are growing up thinking like, oh, it's so cool to be an adult. No, you want to talk about taxes, bills, you know,
Right.
inflation.
They're acting like adults, but they don't pay any bills at all.
Yeah, but that's the thing is that, you know, enjoy being young and enjoy that innocence, you know, because once it's gone, it's gone. You're not going to be able to get it back. And then
Right.
you look at all these people now that are older, they're all like, you know, trying to relive their childhoods because they realize I grew up too fast and I wish I could turn back time, but you can't.
I was talking to your son about how he got his GED. And I was like, in a way, that kind of makes you kind of, in a way, have to grow up a little bit faster than other kids. And I think that's where the maturity comes in. And that's why like, I really respect. I call him Dark because we play video games. His name is Darklight. But that's why I really respect Dark because I can tell that he has maturity and he's been through some stuff.
Yeah, he's been through a lot.
I don't know what it is. I can just tell.
Yeah, well, you know, he'll tell you about it sometime, you know. But yeah, he's been through a lot and then some. But you know, like I said, I'm lucky and blessed to have him because he's always, you know, it's just crazy. Like that's why I'm like, I just think it's sad, you know, when children are having children, you know.
Yes.
And the kids kind of
Yes.
grow up messed up because, you know, I wasn't perfect either, but I always just tried my best every day, you know? I would always tell him, like, hey, if you wake up with a smile on your face and you go to bed with a smile on your face, then hopefully I did something right, right? But, yeah, no, he, like, there was a time where we were dealing with some hateful people during COVID.
Oh.
And, you know, let me tell you, like, kids are amazing. Like, you know, especially if you have the basic, like, I think adults can also learn from children, not just from the elderly.
For sure,
you know?
because life can be simplified a little bit.
Yeah.
Quarantine with us.
Well, we had some hateful people, and, you know, they were all, like, calling us a racist term and everything, you know?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, during COVID, like, people literally, like, were violent to us and even tampered with my car. It was just crazy, right? So we're at the grocery store and I already hear people calling us a specific racial term, and I was thinking to myself, you know, I might end up having to hurt someone, you know,
Right.
to protect us. So here I am, you know, preparing, you know, in case these people decide to, you know, start attacking us. And they started calling us that name, and all of a sudden I hear laughter from my son. And you know his voice is not soft,
Yeah.
you know? He laughs, he's carried, right? He's both out laughing in the grocery store. And he's like, ha, he's like, hey mom. He's like, guess what? He goes, I think these people think we're Chinese. And out of the blue, all these people vanished. They like shut up and vanished. And we actually had a peaceful time going through the grocery store, you know?
Yeah.
And that was the thing is that I always taught him, you know, never judge anybody. Don't look at color, religion, none of that. You know, that's not necessary, right? All you should care about if you meet another fellow American is whether they're good or whether they're bad, and that's it. But I was just blown away because he brought a different perspective and a solution, right?
He found it funny, and you were kind of just like, I might have to beat someone's ass today.
Yeah, that was pretty much it, because I was like, you're not such a big bitch. You know?
Oh, that's actually that's a beautiful scenario because one person can change your whole perspective on something, especially when you're like close and you trust them.
Well, you know, there's a saying, right? Like, most people are afraid of grizzly bears, and I'm like, no, you shouldn't be afraid of grizzly bears. Who you should really be afraid of is mama bear.
Honestly.
People kill you, yeah. So, yeah, no, it's been, you know, like I said, he always took me to a tough situation, and it was just so funny because these people were being so hateful, and they just went and told me what he said, and I would have never done that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I'm just like trying to handle a situation, you know, it's like, okay, you gotta take out someone, and then there he is laughing.
That's actually funny.
People left us alone in the grocery store, they looked ashamed. They couldn't even look at us while we went through the grocery store.
I've dealt with similar things. I've actually, so I graduated high school in 2020. I went to East Carolina. I don't know if you know where that is. It's in North Carolina though. It's like some college. And I had like a problem like socially where like I wanted to fit in too much. And I'm black. All my friends were white at the time. And I was drinking a lot. I actually went to rehab 4 times for alcohol. And all of my friends, they didn't give a fuck about how I was acting. They would joke around, you know, we would laugh, have fun, all that. But none of them were like, "Hey, Bobby, maybe you should actually care about your future. Maybe you should stop doing what you're doing right now because it's destructive and volatile." And then, in a way, I never felt like bigotry or racism. I felt like they genuinely just didn't care. And like that type of mentality, I was surrounded by people like that. You know what I mean? And I wish I had someone like your son who could be like, "Hey, bro, like this isn't you." You know what I mean? It's crazy how I meet someone like that on the video game, but I never met it in college.
You guys have it rough, you know, and I always apologize, you know, when I would talk to my friends, and I'm sorry, like, you know, my generation failed your generation. It just continues downhill, right?
Right.
I'm very sorry for the world that you're in. You know, I wish I could change everything for you, but the only thing I could do is just give you pearls of wisdom, give you love and support, and, you know, I don't sugarcoat shit. You know, I'm very direct and blunt. You
Oh
know?
yeah.
So if I call out, I call out, or, you know, hey, you need support, you need love, you need advice, you know, that's what I'm here for. You know, then sometimes that's all I can do. Is just give a little bit of pearls of wisdom and, you know, maybe a listening ear if needed, and sometimes that's all you can do.
Got an upgrade, gonna put it to use.
Honestly, I think you're right. There's only so much you can do, except it's like it's still love into what you care about.
Yep, and I think a lot of younger generations don't, you know, lost so much individuality.
Yes, yes.
There's no need to try to be like somebody else, you know? And like, you know, my generation, like, you know, everyone's different, right? Children will get along with everybody. But it's just a matter of being true to yourself. Because I always teach, you know, like I treat all my son's friends as if they're my own children. You know, I always tell them I'm not going to treat you any different than how I treat my son. You'll exactly be treated the same way.
I actually love that because I definitely feel like I lost a lot of my individuality when I was in college because I was trying to fit in too much. But that doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like when you leave college and you're not around those people, you realize it doesn't matter at all.
Well, one of the biggest things is that, you know, it starts from the parents. You know, that's culturally one of the biggest things my dad always had said is children are not like pets, right? You give birth to a child, that child's life comes first. You are responsible for the life of this child.
Yes.
But I just feel like a lot of young people not only lost individuality, but they're not taught to cherish the freedom, and that starts with the parents, right? Because at the end of the day, it's important, you know, to make sure that you do the best that you can for your kid. Like I always tell children too, I say, I do understand the parents, you know, too as well, because it would be cool if children could, right?
Another team.
Then we would, then, you know, it's like we would know how to like properly treat you and things like that. But when that building block is gone, and then you look at the kids growing up and they just feel like they have no identity, and I'm like, freedom's the most precious thing we have, especially in this country. Like we're the only country in this entire world, did you know, that has freedom literally written in the law.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, and then so I feel like a lot of young people, like they forget, you know, you gotta be free to be you. You know, you do you. And guess what? Somebody out there is gonna click with you, and you don't have to fully change yourself or have to feel like you have to be somebody else. You should never have to do that. Because each and every single, you know, person that I met, they're all unique in their own way, right?
Yeah.
But there's always going to be someone who could understand what you're going through. And, you know, while you build yourself up to be a unique person and learn things about yourself, you're never truly alone. And that's why I always try to remind the children it's easy to try to be like someone else, but then you feel lost, right? You don't feel accepted. Either way, you're unhappy, right? And I'm like, you know, that's sad. I said, be you so that You know, because there's only one person in this world that I always told them that you should never lie to. And it's
Yourself.
yourself.
Yep.
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 If you don't lie to yourself, you don't need to lie to other people.
Yeah. Well, because, you know, at the end of the day, if you end up trying to be like someone else that you're not, right? What's going to happen if you get something genuine, or if you want a relationship in the future? What? You're going to upkeep that fakeness? No. You want to make sure that you stay yourself, and then you find somebody that compliments you, not completes you, compliments you. You know?
I remember,
It's that-
I remember when I was in college, I was at a crossroads because I genuinely felt lost because I was trying to be something I wasn't. And I had one friend tell me, like, genuinely, the only friend I had, he was actually from high school. He didn't go to college with me, but he was like, he just looked me straight in the face. And this is when I came home for the summer or something. He was like, bro, I'm not going to lie. You've been posting on your Snapchat story, posting on your TikToks, all the fun you're having. We get it. But that's not you, bro. A lot of us lost respect for you because that's not the Bobby that we grew up with. And then I had to look in the mirror and ask myself, do I really love myself? And then that was a crossroad. That's where I made the change to be better. But I like how you mentioned individuality because that's what I lost when I tried to be something I wasn't. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, because, you know, that's the one thing is I always tell my children, you know, hey, you guys are each beautiful, handsome, or unique in your own way.
Yes.
Don't let someone else take that from you. You know, you're literally born in a country where you have freaking freedom. And all I see is young people throwing away their freedom. And that
Yes.
because I'm like, you know, if people truly saw you for you, it's amazing, it's beautiful. So what? You know, I always told them, you know, because they're like, oh, but people are gonna hate. I'm like, people are gonna hate. Assholes are gonna hate. And you know what I told them? When you deal with nasty people like that, you give them a can to shut the fuck up and walk away and let them sip their hatery. That's what I told them. Because you know what? Hateful people aren't worth your time. You know, you find someone genuine, you connect, you enjoy. It's too short. You know, life is too short. To sit there and anger or try to be like someone else. I mean, that's why, like my son, I taught him the Constitution. I was just like, you know, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And I even pointed out to him, why did the founding fathers literally just put pursuit of happiness? Because not everyone's going to pursue happiness. But we have the freedom to do so. So I always tell, you know, young people, as well as my children too, because I ended up with a lot of children along the way from my son. And I always remind them, you know, hey, pursue what's happy for you. You know, you always gotta do you. Don't throw away your freedom. You know, if there's a dream or something that you have, there's more than one ways to get there, right? And don't just be a follower. You never be because of the price that was paid for your freedom. That's what I always told my son.
Yes, I actually love that. You never want to be a follower. That's something my parents taught me too. Which I guess I didn't get the memo when I was younger, but I understand it wholeheartedly now.
Yeah, well, because people have this idea about a leader, right? But I always tell my son, I said, anyone who says, ooh, I'm a natural born leader, guess what? Then you're a shitty leader. You're not going to care about people.
Right.
But a good leader never wants to be a leader because they understand the responsibility that comes with it. If they are going to be the best leaders, because they don't want to, because they care about people. You know, and I told my son and all the other children and other young people that I met, I'm like, you guys are our future. You guys are so important. You know?
Yeah.
If you don't believe that you're important, then you're not going to get anywhere. And where's our future going to be as a country? Because each and every single one of you guys are important to our future.
Yeah.
So when I get old, you guys, it's important that you guys figure out, like, what's my path, what's my calling. I don't care. If you're going to be a doctor, be an awesome doctor. If you want to be a cop, be a good cop. You know, you want to be a teacher, be the most famous compassionate teacher. We need you guys because you guys are our people. So we need more people like you know. So what? So what if you've gone through life? you know, like, or you messed up, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, it's only a mistake if you learn from it. It becomes wrong if you keep on repeating it. Because then who does it hurt the most at the end of the day?
You.
You. Yeah, so that's one of the things too that I always say, you know, don't try to create a cycle.
That's weird.
I did want to say this. Some of the best leaders, they don't even mean to be leaders, but they lead by example with their actions.
Yes.
Honest.
And they're honest and they care about people.
Yes.
You know? And I'm just like, you know, for every young person that I meet that is trying hard and has courage. Because guess what? Like I told my son, so there was this kid and this teacher had literally told this kid, you just need to give up on that. You are so stupid, you're not going to amount to anything.
What?
You're a failure, right? And he told this kid, well, guess what? Majority of the world knows the name of this child, but who knows the name of this teacher? You know who this kid was?
Who?
Albert Einstein.
Oh, whoa.
Oh yeah. It was like, it was one of his math teachers that basically mocked him and told him he was so terrible because he failed math.
Oh,
But
wow.
yet, does anyone know who this teacher is? No. But who doesn't know Albert Einstein?
Literally.
Yeah. So that's why I always, like I said it's more, you know, that positivity lasts a long time. Like I remember when I was in boot camp, I had an instructor, you know, really wise guy. And, you know, he had said to me, you can't change the world overnight, but you can change the world one day and one face at a time.
I like that. I like that a lot.
So, yeah, no, I'm glad. Like, my son was very excited. He had told me about you.
Oh, really? Nice.
Of course he did. And he was, you know, like, that's the other thing I'm so thankful, you know, because I've seen it when I was growing up, you know, how some kids around my age when I was in high school, they didn't make it home. Instead, their parents got a call to identify a body,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah.
And I'm very thankful. That's why I always told my kid, I don't care if you're gonna go someplace, you know, like let's say, oh, you're gonna go drinking at a party, right? As a teenager, right? And I said, I would rather know where you're at. And that way you can just call me so I can come and get you because I never want to get that call.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd rather have you be honest with me. And the funniest thing is, you know, my kid's like, oh mom, I always let you know where I'm at anyways. And he enjoys gaming, and that's what I'm like thankful my kid's a gaming nerd, you know?
Yeah.
I always know
Yeah.
where he's at.
That's actually funny. That's actually really funny.
Yeah, and I always know what he's like watching and things like that because then he comes up to me and he's like, hey mom, and he'll like text it to me or he'll show it to me. He's like check out this guy, you know, on YouTube, or you know, hey, this is a really fun video that I found today, mom. So I realized, like, you know, because even I had that, right? What teenager doesn't go through that where they hide stuff from their parents and, you know, and whereas my son, I realized I never have to worry. Like, do I have to be worried about what he's watching? No. The majority of the times he tells me about it or he shows me, you know. Do I have to worry about where he goes? No. Like, he enjoys, you know, gaming, he likes magic, you know, so I pretty much know where he's at. And then I'm like thinking to myself, you know what? I am one hella lucky mom.
Yeah, seems pretty blessed. Like I actually struggled with mainly with my dad. Like for example, I would get home from school and he would say, "All right, no video games until Friday, until like the weekend," and he didn't trust me to indulge in my outlets, and I think that made me kind of resentful of him sometimes. And and because he didn't trust me, I didn't trust him either. And it became this big thing where, like, me and my dad, like, he kicked me out when I was, like, 19. And we just never seen eye to eye. And I actually envy those type of relationships where parents can talk to their kids and have those type of like open discussions about what they do every day, and I think that's beautiful.
Because, you know, funny Chris, when I was raising my son, like I said, because, you know, when you become a parent, it's like your whole life changes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like sitting there thinking to myself, like, I don't want to be a screw up. I want to do right by this. I want to do right by this, right? And I don't care whether we have girls, boys, it doesn't matter to me. All I know is the kids. I want children are gifts, right? So I was thinking about it, and I only gave my son 3 rules when he was a kid.
Yeah.
3 rules. And the first rule was be good at your job. So I had told him, you know, your job's to go to school, so just be good at your job. Rule number 2 was take care of your responsibilities. So that would include like, you know, doing his homework or, you know, things like that, right?
No. He's low, 50 HP.
Take a shower, you know, prepare
On me.
for the next day. And then my 3rd rule was
Thank
basically
you.
the rest of your time
Looks like a
is
care
free
package is
time.
coming in.
Only
Okay.
remember to be a kid. And that's it. Those are the only 3 rules I do.
Come on back now.
Well, I think I already said it, but I think you did a great job. Oh my goodness. One of the most genuine people I've ever met in my life.
Well, like I said, you know, my dad, I learned a lot from my dad.
Mm-hmm.
I also learned a lot from my mom, but I mostly got the best pearls of wisdom from my dad. I still remember when I was going through the divorce, and well, you know, everyone had their feelings. All my dad said to me, he said, "You are mother, you are father, double the love." So it's funny because sometimes, you know, my son's just like, "Hey mom, you know, you're technically a better dad than you are." Aw, thanks, kid. As long as it's what you need, right?
Right. That's actually funny.
Yeah, well, I just think it's super how society does need a responsibility. So, well, this is a mother's job. You know, you know, as you go through life, right? It's not just about, okay, you know, I'm the mother. You need a dad? Sure, I'll be your dad. You know, I always told my kid, you know, you need a friend. If you have no friends in this world, guess who's going to be your best friend? I will.
Oh,
I'll be your number one support.
oh no. Oh shit, he might be.
Only one squad.
Because part of it is see what your child needs.
What days?
You can't just limit to yourself to just being like, oh, okay, I'm a mom. I'm
There's not thirst.
you know?
Yeah.
Cover all the bases you possibly can.
Oh damn.
Because with that, you're
GGs.
about the world. And how can you distinguish between good and bad people if you don't have that foundation first? To know what is truly good.
Interesting. Interesting. I actually like that a lot. Because the foundation is
No.
everything, right?
Yep, because I mean, think about it, you know, like if your base foundation is love, then as you go through life and you're gonna meet rotten people, right? Let's just face
That's
reality,
part of life, yeah. Yeah.
you know. But if you have that foundation of love, and if the parents establish an actual communication of a relationship instead of, you know, a lot of these parents, they have a habit of trying to mold the child, and I'm like, no, children are gifts. They're a surprise. It's like discovering. It's like a relationship, right? You're meeting
Mhm.
someone new, but with this child, you're gonna have a lifetime connection, right? You're gonna have that bond, and you get to discover things about this tiny individual that you helped create and you brought into this world. So I noticed a lot of parents, they were like, oh, but you have to do it this way, or they'll just be like, no, you can't do that. And I remember when I had that, and I was like, you know, that sucks, right? So I've never actually sat there and told my son no. What I would do is little funny things like I remember there was the time when he was little and he didn't want to wear his jacket, right? So my mom and dad were like, you got to wear your jacket before you go to church, you know, because at the time they took him to church, and he's like, no, I don't want to. So my mom and dad were like, he's being a little difficult, because I used to work nights, so he was like, he's being a little difficult. So I looked at him and I said, okay, kiddo, how come you don't want to wear your jacket? So he looks at me, he goes, I don't need a jacket. He's like, God gave me penguin skin. So I said, oh. I said, oh, really now? I mean, because, as a parent, my first instinct is to be like, no, because you're going to get sick, And then I just thought about it, and I was like, you know what? I said, that's awesome that God gave you penguin skin. All right, fine. You don't have to wear a jacket. Off you go, right? So he goes off. He comes back. Of course, he gets sick, right? So next thing you know, he's got a cold. He's like running a fever. Then my parents got it, and then eventually I got it, right? So at a certain point in the week, we're both sitting there. We're like sniffling. We're like sipping and eating chicken noodle soup. And I looked at him and I said, so hey kid, how's that penguin skin? And he looked at me. He goes, I'm sorry, mommy. I lied. God did not give me penguin skin.
Oh my goodness.
But the thing is after that, and I realized because experience is your best teacher, right?
Yeah.
So one, he apologized for lying. Two, he realized the importance of wearing a jacket because he got to experience the outcome, like the consequences, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I always told my son, you have to take accountability and responsibility for all your actions. Understand the consequences.
I would say another plus from that situation or that circumstance was he knew that you trusted him to make the right decision. Like, from that young age, he knew for a fact that you trust him to make the right decision, and I think that's very, like, important. Because, like, trust has to go both ways.
Yes. Well, and the other thing too is like, why wouldn't you let a child learn to make their own choices while they are a kid? Can you imagine, like, what happens if the child makes a poor decision as an adult? Are there not huge consequences for it?
Right.
Like for me, I rather my kid learn, and that's why even like little things, like I said, I avoided always using the word no, because when he was little, I wanted him to understand the importance of his decision. So I would just make sure that, why are you laughing, kiddo?
That's nothing.
but yeah, no, I would always try to make sure, like, instead of saying no, it's like, hey, how about you decide things, right? So I remember when he was little, I mean, because, kids when they're little, they're going to copy you, right? They want to, like, be like you, right?
Yeah.
And then finally, when he was a little bit old enough, because he used to order the same thing I did when I used to take him out to eat. We always had a mommy and son date every Friday. I would literally pull them out of school. They weren't happy. And I was like, well, guess what? Your stupid state law requires that he repeats a grade twice because he was born after September. So what year would you like for me to pull him out every Friday? You guys can decide, right? So every Friday I would take him out of school. It would be a half day for him. We would go out on a mommy and son date, and he would try to pick the same food as me. And one day I pointed out to him, I said, hey, kiddo, guess what? And he was like, what? I said, do you know what's really cool is if I pick one item and you pick the other, we can split it in half, and then we get to try 2 new things instead of
That sounds like
I
perfect.
did that so that he can actually have the freedom to decide. It's important for you guys to be able to decide, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would always have him make choices, but I want him to be proud of his choices.
Oh
And I
my gosh, that's
remember,
actually that's amazing because that's a big building block of life that I think a lot of kids nowadays, like, if they do make a decision, it's necessarily, I don't want to say a bad one, but it's not one that their parents are doing it with them. Does that make sense?
yeah. Well, one of the things is that who makes a perfect decision anyways, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because no matter what, you're gonna make certain decisions you may make poor, certain decisions you may make good. But the thing is, that's life, right? And being able to, even if you make a poor decision, being able to say, okay, I own up to it, I'm gonna take responsibility for it. And guess what? Like, when my child made some poor decisions in life, I didn't sit there and tell him, oh, well, you made a poor decision,
Mm-hmm.
I hate the words "I told you so" because you could ask my child. I have never once ever said to him, "I told you so." I refuse to say those words. Those words piss me off
Yeah.
because the whole point is that you're already going to be beating up yourself. Once you realize that you made a poor decision, right?
Right.
So I always told my kid, I'm like, you need to share with me so I know how I can support you. So guess what? You have a crappy day? Well, then guess what? I'm going to remind you, hey, I'm so sorry you had a crappy day. Let's go out and get a treat. let's salvage your day so that you can end it on a happy note. Or if you're angry, it's like, dude, let it out. Do you want me to give you a baseball bat? You want me to go get you pumpkins, right? You know? So you
Yeah.
smash the crap out of it, right? You smash the shit out of it. Get your anger out. Punch a pillow. Come on, man. You know? And that's pretty much like what I did with him because I wanted him to make good decisions, but learn to be proud of the choices he makes. Either proud of the choices he makes or be able to say, hey, I made this choice, but I'm going to learn from it so then I can make an even better choice in case something like this comes around again.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? I put a lot of thought. Like, I'll be honest with you, I was always stressed out about, you know, whether I did right by him or not. You know, like people would just be like, oh, well, you think you're a good man or whatever. And I would just look at him and I'm like, dude, I don't evaluate myself on how I am as a parent. I'm more concerned with whether my kid's happy or if he's okay,
Right.
you know, throughout his days. And, you know, even though, because, you know, both my parents, you know, they came from South Korea, right? And I'm first generation American, my son's second generation American. And it was just one of the things that I do is that once you have a kid, always your kid. You bring a child into this world, that child is your life, that child comes first. And it's interesting because, you know, a lot of Americans are like, well, you know, you call him kiddo, that's like demeaning. And I'm like, no, because he's my kid. Once my kid, forever my kid. He could be 70 years old, and I know he's a man, but guess what? I'm his mother, he's always gonna be my kid.
Right. It's not like it's a random person I'm calling him kiddo. It's like it's your mom. Like that makes sense to me at least.
Yeah, but it's just so funny, because I pulled him one day and I said, well, kiddo, if you don't like me calling you kiddo anymore, just please let me know.
Aww.
Because I said some people said like I shouldn't be calling you like that because you're like a man or something. He goes, Mom, you don't care about that. He's like, it's all good. You can always call me kiddo. And I said, okay, fine.
My mom says similar things. I was like, Mom, why do you always treat me like a kid? You're always telling me to brush my teeth. And she was like, you're always gonna be my baby. It doesn't matter if you're 80 years old. You're gonna be my baby. And I was like, well, honestly, it makes me feel loved and cared about. So I have no problem with any of that stuff. You know what I mean?
None of us know whether we're gonna be here tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
And I said there might be a day where I may not be around anymore. And when that day comes, I'm sure you're gonna miss out, right? You're gonna go back and you're gonna be like, man, I miss her cooking, right? Or, oh, I miss her giving me hugs, or I miss her calling me kiddo. So that's why I always told my son, let's just live each day like it's ours, no matter how much we go through. That's okay. You're not going through it alone. We're gonna go through it together, and let's live it up. That's what I always told them.
I like it. I like it. Honestly. What's your name?
Oh, my name is Eunice, but funny story about that. I never particularly liked it, so
Okay.
most of the children either will call me mom or they'll just call me Eunice.
My name is Bobby, by the way, if you don't remember. But like honestly, it was great meeting you. Honestly, really great meeting you.
Yeah, and I'm very thankful. I'm thankful for my son's I truly appreciate it. I think it's wonderful that we can meet with friends. Because, yeah, the children tell me stories about the internet. Like I said, when it comes to technology, I'm like,
Yeah.
do all that social media and stuff,
It's a
but,
good thing.
yeah, and I'm always thankful for all these very good assignments and very good for being a part of my son's life and for being a good person. I've heard horror stories,
Yeah.
in regards to the internet, so.
Man.
Sometimes he does get too loud at nighttime, and I have to remind him, like, down, man.
I struggle with the same thing. I get too loud when I play this game. It's because I'm passionate, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, not only that, like, you guys put headphones on, you know?
Yeah.
It's really hard. You don't think you're being loud when you have a headphone on, but you're actually being loud.
I love how understanding you are. So I'll give you a perfect example. I moved back in with my parents after rehab, and I've been living with them for the past like year now. And this happened last week. I DoorDash for my actual job because I like having my freedom. I've analyzed like what I like and what I don't like, and I don't like working for somebody. I just don't. But DoorDash gives me that, you know, sovereignty that I really want, especially when it comes to like my time and being flexible. And my dad, like, I was like loud one night, and the way he approached me was, he's a dentist. My older sister is in college. She just graduated to become a dentist, so like she's in residency right now. But my dad was like, "Hey, me and your older sister have actual real jobs, so how about you go quiet down? It's disrespectful." And the way he came at me, I was like, "Okay, I just like I understand that I'm like, you know, it makes me want to be louder sometimes because he's not respecting that, like, okay, like maybe I just didn't know I was being loud. You know what I mean?"
And I tried with him too, like I said, you know, I'll just let him know, hey, kiddo, you're kind of being loud, you know, or like I'm trying to sleep, or you know, sometimes he can't hear me through the headphones, and that's when I raise my voice. And I'm yelling at him, and I'm like, yo, man, like, with those headphones on, the zombie apocalypse could happen, and you'd be, like, still playing on your headphones.
Right. I like how everything you say is still based in reality. It's like, come on, bro. Come on. Let's be real here.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, and I understand. And that's the other thing, too, like, I'm like, in regards to parenting, because I remember, you know, like, growing up with, like, parents saying, oh, well, no, you can't do this, or, well, no, that's not practical, right?
Yeah.
But I remember when my son, I love, like, I'm one of those parents that I'm not against gaming. And the reason why is because I'm like, education could come in many different forms, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say you're playing a survival game, then you're learning. You're actually learning, like, nothing is free, right? You have to work for the stuff, either you have to make your bullets. You're also learning communication skills, because guess what? If you're playing like a PvP game, you're meeting different people. You're learning how to handle toxic people, but hopefully, you know, when you play the game, you meet good people that are awesome and chill, right?
Yeah.
And so I've always supported, it was funny because my son and I always had a tradition. So, like, weekends, if it's not snowing, I used to pull out a map of Colorado, and I would let him pick a point on the map wherever he wanted to go, and we would just drive there. You know, we always had adventures, you know, like mother and son adventures. Now, during the winters, though, it, you know, because it snowed, and I hate driving in the snow, so we would play games. We would do late night party nights, you know, where I would go and grab like a bunch of snacks, or, you know, like junk food and stuff, and we'd swirl it and stash it, you know. And at the time we were, you know, my parents were all living together, you know. Since I had gone through the divorce and everything, so we would wait till my parents would fall asleep, and then we would gather up, and my son would come, and, you know, we would gather up in my room, and we would sit and watch movies, eat snacks, and then we would like laugh quietly, you know, with a blanket over our heads.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we always did like late night party night, and then we would play games together. So I had him play like Zelda, you know, like Mario. What else did we play? Kingdom of Hearts, huh, kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, we would play like Kingdom of Hearts, like all these different games, because I'm
Kingdom
like,
Hearts.
yeah, remember that? Except
That-
you didn't quite like Resident Evil.
You can tell me if I'm wrong in this assumption, but like low key, I feel like you might have been robbed of like a childhood that you might have wanted, and you can relive it with your kid in a way almost sometimes.
Well, because most people don't know, you know, like, in regards to, like, you know, for generations of Americans, right?
Yeah.
You know, the first generation that came to this country always had it the hardest. You know, they had a struggle. Like,
Yep.
when my parents came from South Korea, they didn't really speak much English. So for me, when I was little, like, I learned English to try to help my parents. So by the time I was 5, I was always translating, right?
Okay.
You know, I would translate for them, I would help them, because Unfortunately, bad people rip other people off.
Yeah,
And
you're
there's some
right.
kind people that are helpful. So I always respect anyone, like, I always tell people, like, depending on what generation American you are, to at least be thankful for your family members that first came to this country and suffered for it, because they all had a struggle. Be thankful that they helped build up something. And if they didn't, then look at it as an opportunity for you to build something up, so that if you decide you're going to have a family or have a kid, you can pass that forward to them, right?
Yes.
And so for me, it's like, yeah, I had a lot of responsibilities. I was the oldest out of four. So by the time I was 5, I was calling plumbers. By the time I was 8, handling rental contracts, just to help my parents out because
Oh,
they did not
wow.
speak a word of English.
Okay.
So while I did get to enjoy my life here and there, but I learned, my dad always told me knowledge is power. So I spent a lot of time not just studying, but I would listen to my elders. And by elders, I meant, like, for example, a plumber. It's interesting how people, they look at age, and some people are like, they see a younger person and they're like, disregard them, right? Because they don't carry any wisdom.
Oh,
And I'm
yeah.
like, that's not true. You could learn just as much from a 5-year-old as you can from a college professor. And I spent a lot of time, I didn't care if someone was kind enough to give me that wisdom, right? Or at least share their experience or share their story. I always listened, because you never know. You can learn something new from everyone. Like, every single one of you guys have something to offer. And the most important key thing is yeah, there's a lot of jerks out there that aren't going to listen, right? But there will be somebody that will listen, and that'll make it worthwhile.
And I
So
feel like
over
a
the
lot of
years,
people nowadays are pretty bitter, and you don't get that talking to a 5-year-old. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, but 5-year-old kids are amazing. There was a research project that they actually did, right? Where
Yeah.
they put adults in a room, gave them a pencil, and told them, come up with as many uses for this pencil. Then they put a group of 5-year-olds in another room and gave them a pencil and said, come up with as many ways as you can use a pencil. And they gave them an hour. Do you know how many uses for a pencil the adults came up with?
Let me guess, like 3 or 4.
A little bit more than that, considering there it was a group of them, but I think it was like less than 20.
Okay,
Would you like to
okay.
know how many the children came up with?
Oh my goodness, probably like 60, 100.
Over 200.
Oh my gosh, just the creative ability of it. Oh, that's crazy.
But that's what I mean by, all of you guys as kids, right? You guys have that open mind, that creativity, that imagination,
Yeah.
Like, where the world's your oyster. And that's the thing that really hurts me, is that, especially parents who take that away from their kid. I'm like, let them be a kid, let them grow their creativity, because it's so amazing what you guys can come up with, right? And you want to keep that creativity and that imagination alive, because that allows you to have an open mind. And think about it, in life, when stuff happens, everyone turns to Google, right? Or
Yeah.
whatever they turn to, right? But the thing is, people lost the capacity to think for themselves and be creative about stuff. And I always tell all my children, don't be narrow-minded, don't put yourself in a box, and don't let other people put you in a box. Because if you can actually think about things, right? Like, I can creatively try this. Then no matter what through life, you can always figure a way out. And you'll be open-minded. And then you'll learn more. But like I said, I just feel like a lot of you guys were disregarded. People did not listen to you.
Yeah.
And I kind of learned that, from my son too. Like I said, he's been through a lot. And he also knows what it's like to be disregarded. And I always warn my son too. When someone disregards you, acknowledge your emotions. Acknowledge that it hurts, right? That disregarded you. Okay. But then afterwards, you think about it, and then you just tell yourself, well, then now I know to not put much effort or time into this person.
Right.
So that way, when I meet someone cool that's going to listen to me, then I know to cherish them. And it's no different than friendships, relationships, right? Because, if you carry let's say you had a bad friendship or a bad relationship, right? And basically it didn't end well. But if you were taught to have an open mind and acknowledge your emotions and say, you know what, they broke my heart, they hurt me, but then to be able to look and realize, okay, you know what though, I am thankful I saw this person for who they truly are,
Right.
and I'm not gonna let the hurt consume me, because one, they're gonna be out of my life, right? But two, that means that if I meet someone good, whether they become a friend or it's gonna be a relationship, then at least I know that they're good, and I can treat them as good as how I should be treated. But I often see young people carrying scars, which I don't blame them. You know, it hurts. But letting go of the scars and just crying and grieving over it, there's no shame in that. You know, I told my kid it's okay to feel angry, it's okay to feel sad, it's okay to feel happy. Emotions are important because that's how our bodies express ourselves.
Wow, maybe you should be a therapist. Like, holy crap. Like, I've been to rehab 4 times for alcohol, weed as well, but alcohol was the main thing. And, like, a lot of these key points you're talking about is the main things I had to deal with in the past 2 years that I never addressed because I was suppressing a lot of my feelings and just saying, like, okay, like, I wasn't actually addressing my emotions, I was pushing them away and coping with, like, drugs or something like that, or women in particular. And it was never enough. It was never something that made me happy or satisfied. But like the way you describe it is like I wish I knew this, 3, 4, or 5 years ago. Honestly.
Yeah, well, because emotions are important. I disagree with how society or how parents who are incorrectly taught, tell their kids, oh, suck it up. I'm like, what? No. Excuse me, no. If your kid is hurting, if your kid is sad, if your kid is angry, they have a valid reason for it. You need to hear them out and remind them to express themselves, And, whereas society says, oh, okay, well, you can't be angry, suck it up. I've been through it too. And I'm like, really? Because sucking it up got you where? It leaves a void in your heart, right? And that's where they turn to drugs, they turn to alcohol. Just to numb the pain, right?
Yeah.
But we have freedom of expression in this country. We are allowed to cry. We are allowed to
I'm just
be
part of
sad.
overextending right here.
We're allowed to be angry, right? But that's the freedom that we have. There's countries out there that people can't even express themselves, right?
Literally.
So why in a country full of freedom are people sitting there locking their emotions, not expressing themselves? Because I always tell my son, it's okay to feel angry, but it's the choice of the actions you choose to take with that anger that will determine whether it was a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, and it helps build character when you make those decisions.
I'm just getting.
Oh yeah, when my kid would get angry, I'm just like, yo, what do you want to punch? What would help you get rid of that anger so we can have a good day?
And sometimes it's just talking it out, like just knowing someone wants to hear your problems.
That capture bonus is
Yeah.
ours.
I mean, after all, who doesn't go through it, right?
Mhm.
Like, name me one person who has never felt anger, or never felt sadness, or never fell in love, or never cried, or never was happy, or like you think about it, right?
Mhm.
But I always told my kid, I said, it's easy to be happy during great times, but do you know where the true bread and butter is at in any relationship, whether it be friends, family, loved ones, etc., etc.? You know where the best bread and butter is at?
Where?
Is when you are so hurt or so angry, and just being able to go through it together and being able to say, hey man, I still love you, right?
Mhm.
Even friends, oh hey bro, I love you, or hey sis, I love you, right? Or whether it be a husband and wife saying, hey, I still love you, I'm thankful that you're with me. That's where the real bread and butter is at. Anyone can be happy when times are going good, but the real challenge and the truest reward comes from when things are so hard that you just want to break down and you just want to go hide in a hole and be a hermit, right?
Yeah.
But being able to pull through together. And most people forget there's strength in diversity and there's strength in unity. Like I told my son, even the internet can be a proper community instead of it being so toxic. Be a community, be a group where you're like, hey, let's be positive, man. I mean, this world sucks, right?
Yeah.
It's full of crap everywhere and nonsense and bullshit. So why not make a sanctuary and just say, hey, you know what? I got you. I understand you. Because sometimes, even if it comes from a stranger, right? Is there not comfort in knowing that you're not alone?
Always. And
Because if you trick yourself into thinking you're truly alone, then you're not going to be able to see good people. You're not going to be able to enjoy things in life. And you put yourself in a box. And why would you put yourself in a cage like that?
yeah, I think like deep down, I had to literally figure out not only why am I doing this, but I had to think like, do I love myself? And for a long
Yeah.
time, a long time, the answer was no. And so I had to start doing small things that like got me back into the mindset where like, okay, like I feel good about myself, which was just like small things like just personal hygiene or just cleaning my room, small accomplishments, small goals I can do every single day. Get out the house, do something. And I'll be honest, this community that I found online has been more accepting of me than anybody I've met in person, honestly.
Oh, and I'm glad you have that. And one of the biggest things too, like I said, children are amazing. You want to know something funny is, most people, the parents, and that's why I said the root of it all starts with the parents, right? Because they're the
Mm-hmm.
ones who brought the children into this world. And one of the biggest things that I didn't like was like they made it not fun. Like they would say, "Oh, you have to clean your room or you have to do this," right?
Mm-hmm.
With my kid, he didn't even know he was doing chores.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would just literally tell him, I'd be like, "Oh, but mommy's got to clean." And he's like, "What?" And I said, "Well, mommy has to clean because stuff has to be nice. Doesn't it feel good for stuff to be clean?" He's like, "Yes." And I was like, "You know what?" I said, "So I need to clean." You know what he would do? He then started cleaning his room so that I didn't have to clean my room. And when he was done with his room, he'd come over to my room, help me clean my room so that we could go and play together.
I like that. I like that a lot.
And so
Yeah.
that's the thing is like you like there's always one of my favorite quotes actually that I would always remind my child. I would always say, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can. And that's a quote from Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so I told my son, like if parents did things out of love and made it creative for their kids, like how many young people would have actually listened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even making something like a chore or like there was that whole stereotype of boys not liking to take showers or taking baths, but I always taught my son, I was like, dude, it's bubble time, it's like that Mimi time, and then set up the bubble bath once he was old enough, and he would like take his little bubble bath, play with his toys in there, and guess what? In the process, he learned how to get clean. And the hardest part I feel is that in a country where we have the freedom, right? We're given the freedom. It makes me really sad when parents don't realize the actions that they take are taking away freedom from their children by dictating, no, you can't do that, or oh, but you have to do your chores, or you have to do this. Whereas had they thought about what things were like for them when they were kids, being told no, and maybe think of a way to make it fun. 'Cause
Yeah.
even picking up trash, I was just like, hey, we're helping clean the earth, and he would just do it, and I'll be like, yeah, let's go get ice cream afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
Then wouldn't you have been motivated to stay clean, pick up trash, not look at doing chores as a chore?
Yeah. If you don't think of it like a
Then
chore, it's actually that's a great mindset to have, I think.
because if you make everything fun, like I literally told my son, our lives are no different than a video game. The only difference is there's no revive.
Right.
When your life is over, that's it, right? So why do things in such a tedious or put in the box mentality? If you at least make things fun and make it like a game, are you not more willing to learn? That's why I always believe, like, in regards to teaching, right? There's many different styles of learning, but how many young people are actually taught? Most young people I talk to, they don't even know. I'm like, are you an audio learner? Are you a visual learner? Are you a hands-on learner? right?
Yeah.
There's different ways of learning. Now, the public school system isn't going to exactly cater to all those styles, but it does not mean that each and every single person isn't capable of learning. And that came out of Benjamin Franklin. He believed firmly in public education for everybody. And he actually wrote a letter, which I don't even think is being taught in schools. He actually wrote a letter to American people because, to all Americans at that time, because people were like, oh, you're so smart, you're
Who's ready
so
to fly
amazing,
on a
you're such a
zipline?
genius,
I
and which he
am.
was. But you know what he would say? He said, I only wish that I could even be half a man as my father was. Well, Benjamin Franklin's father would be kind of considered like a blue collar worker of today, right?
Right.
But what made Benjamin Franklin really shocked and amazed, you see, were because royalty would
Don't
my
worry,
God.
to
I
his
have
father.
returned automatically.
So he asked his father for advice. See, and Benjamin Franklin was a genius. Like, his inventions are still being used today. Like the lightning rod, the bifocals that the elderly wear. You know, those were actually invented by him.
Yeah.
He firmly believed that everyone not only deserves to get the same and equal education, he also wrote a letter to the American people. Do not focus on my achievements, but focus on what you can achieve. Because each and every single one of you guys are capable of achieving just as equally as much as I have, if not more. It's just a matter of how it's being taught. So I know a lot of people, like, they get frustrated, right? They're like, oh, they're made to feel stupid. And I am so against that. Because you just gotta teach something in a way that it clicks to you.
Everybody has a capacity for learning and being great.
Oh, yes.
You have to
Like,
figure
every
out
single
how.
one- Every single one of you guys are capable of putting that knowledge in their head. That's why I told my son, when babies are born, their brains are kind of smooth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it? Because for every little new thing we learn, it creates a wrinkle in our brains. So I told my child, may your brain be bigger and more wrinkly than mine. May it be 10 times more wrinkly than mine. So yeah.
Giving my shields a recharge.
Actually, I'm glad I had this conversation. I still have, like, bad days. Everybody does, but for me, it can hit harder simply because I'm still dealing with my addiction and stuff. And it's honestly meeting. I've met Dark like 4 nights ago, maybe 5, and I played with him every single day since then. And I've been looking forward to it, to be honest.
Oh,
So-
yeah, he looks forward to it too. He's like, yeah, Mom, I made a friend. And he was like, I made a new friend. And he's like, and I really enjoy playing games with him. And I was like, that's awesome, kid, And you go enjoy it. That's one of the things. Sometimes it's hard, like I said, when it comes to things like that, because you turn to something and it's like a security blanket, right?
Literally.
Whether it be weed or whether it be just trying to find someone to fill that hole in your heart, right? But at the end of the day, like I said, just take it one day at a time. When you think about something, ask yourself, instead of like, oh man, here I go wanting this again, right?
Yeah.
Instead, you could take that and just say, wait a second. If I'm thinking this
Using
way,
grapple.
what is causing me to think this way?
On height.
And being able to identify the root of the problem, right? Because sometimes, like, for example, with alcoholics, right? If they had a stressful day and somebody, like, let's say at work, like a coworker trash talked them and they walked in on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's lingering through the day. You're just trying to get through the day at work. And then, of course, you're walking home. And then you're just like, you walk through the door, and then all of a sudden someone living with you is just like, having a bad day too. They kind of lash out at you. Next thing you know, bam, you're thinking about the alcohol, right? You just want to drink. But instead, stopping yourself and saying, okay, you know what? Where did this all start from? And then going back and then realizing, okay, you know what? It all started when I walked in on that. And that really hurt my feelings. And like I said, emotions. If you lock up all your emotions, you're going to turn to other stuff to help you numb them out, just so you don't feel pain. But I point out to all the children, if you cannot feel pain, then how can you feel love if you numb yourself?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't feel sadness, then how can you allow yourself to be happy? Shutting down your emotions, it's all or nothing, right? You can't sit there and pick and choose which one you're gonna get. You need to break through those emotions, cry,
Who's ready
grieve,
to fly on a
do what you
zipline?
gotta do
I am.
until you get everything you bottled up
Giving my
off your
shields a-
chest. And then you
We
can start
neutralized the zone. Good work.
acknowledging your emotions. So you walked in, somebody said trash talk to you. Of course it's gonna hurt, right? You couldn't cry at work.
They
So guess
neutralized
what?
the zone.
Go grab an ice cream.
What?
You know, like I remember watching those movies, you know, like when people go through breakups, you know, you see the girl like eating like a whole tub of ice cream, you know, or you see the guys like, you know, bro, let's just go to the gym and have a beer or something
Yeah.
afterwards, right? The point is that figure out something that works for you, that makes you happy, and make sure like get
I would say
support,
thanks,
whether
but I
it be,
brought
hey, you
myself
know what,
back,
I'm
so
gonna
no
let go
thanks.
of the bad crappy day. If you want to hop onto the game and be like, yeah, I just feel like shooting people in the game today, just to let that anger go, right? Let that hurt go, right? And then be productive. And then afterwards, tell yourself, you know what? I'm really proud that I did this, right?
Yeah.
And then that way you can slowly start learning to. It's like riding a bike. It's all stuff that you all should have been taught at a young age. That it's okay to be angry, sad, everything, right? And then to be able to say, hey, I am sad, or
Here
hey,
I
I am
go.
angry. Acknowledge it, right? Cry, react with your body. Doesn't matter if you want to eat an ice cream cone, eat an ice cream cone. Go to the gym, go punch a punching bag, right? Get it off your chest. And then go back and think to yourself, like, how do I feel now, right? And if you feel good, it's like, okay, by then you're tired. Sure, you could go to sleep. But with that thought of reaching out for that alcohol
Recharging shields.
not disappear. It disappeared. Because if you truly focus on what the real issue is, it's like a war. You battle it, you duke it out, you done. You kill the monster, you're off to bed now. And if you keep it up every day, and before you go to bed, that's why I always tell the children, I'm like, you guys are good with technology, right? There's lots of funny stuff online. You know, my son would send me videos, and it would always make me laugh. Then find something that really makes you laugh, you know, and go to sleep that way. Wake up with a smile the next day. Deal with the battles you gotta deal with
They
in the
got-
day. And then before you go to bed, make yourself laugh. Find a funny joke.
I like that a lot, actually. I don't know, like, Dark, you probably noticed this, but, like, until I got the drink tonight, I was actually in a pretty bad mood. You could just tell by my voice, you know what I mean? And once I was talking to my aunt, and she was like, it's easy to tell when you're happy, because you're normally just, like, drinking alcohol. And that hurt me, because, like, I'm not only happy when I'm, you know, like, under the influence or I'm drunk or whatever. But that's what people around me notice. They're like, you seem always depressed and sad until you have that drink. And it's something that people that don't even know me notice. And I think that I need to embrace how I feel in the moment, like you said, and then work to be better. And know that this is going to subside. This is not
Well,
forever.
one thing is you say work to be better, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I will call you out on that. Because you shouldn't have to work to be better, right? Your emotions are a part of you. This is who you are. So instead of looking at it as work to be better, look at it as, you know what? I'm going to express myself so that I own myself.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do today. Because I'm going to show the world how I am genuinely feeling today. So that I'm not carrying it all around on my chest. And whether people like it or not, that's up to them, right? That's their free will. But you're going to take your free will and you're going to turn it into something beautiful today. Even if you had a crappy day, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you having a crappy day itself is okay. It frickin' sucks. It's gonna hurt. It pisses you off. Like I said, punch a pillow. Go hop on your game and cap some motherfuckers, right? Do what you gotta do, get it off your chest, and then you're gonna tell yourself, okay, you know what? I feel good now, right?
Welcome
You hit
to
a
the
point, you're like, oh, I
Thunderdome.
got it off my chest today.
Gun
Now it's time
run.
for me to enjoy my life. Time's the most precious thing we have. Once today goes, right, you can't get back yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So we have 24 hours in a day. So if your bad day lasted for 8 hours, well,
Recharge
shit,
my
man, you got
shields.
16 hours to make it up and make something happy out of it, right?
Yeah.
Allotting some time for sleep. So why not?
Wow, I'm actually like really glad we had this conversation tonight. I'm still dealing with
Huh?
a lot of demons, to be honest, and
Yeah.
I feel like you've you've been through enough to know exactly how you want to feel, and you make it happen. I feel like.
Well, yes, because like I said, when I,
Laying fences.
growing up and, being stuck between two worlds, right? Not just being stuck between two worlds, but also a lot of responsibilities
So that
and continuing to learn. It's quite an experience, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that, everyone learns to do,
Let's get some
unfortunately,
air,
right?
Doc.
I always say unfortunately, because sometimes there are moments where, you kind of have to suck it up, right? Just to get through a situation. Or if you're at work, you're not going to sit there and have a meltdown at work, right? But it's okay if you need to go to the bathroom and just cry a little bit. There's no shame in that. And that's the thing is people forget to vent and let go of their day. And so what? If you don't have a person in your life to talk to, pets are amazing, right? Does a dog or
yeah.
a cat or a bird, like whichever pet people have, do they not listen and do they not love you? The whole point is get it off your
Hey,
chest
Doc.
so you're not
You follow
carrying
them
it.
now, alright? He done good, Doc. Come on back
And
now.
depending on how long you have bottled everything, that means you still have more to let go of, right?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
okay.
Just giving
One
my
day you'll
shields a
hit the point where
recharge.
that bottle will be
Wolf
empty,
Squad
right?
has reached half the
Everything you
points
stored in there
necessary
Oh,
for
will be
victory.
empty. And that's a good thing. It's a little scary, right? Because then you're like, I'm all spent, right? But the awesome part is then you have a clean slate. Then you're only carrying the woes of today.
You can't keep me
And you're
down.
going to let it go before you go to bed. And then little by little, it becomes like riding a bike, right? You're going to start being like, okay, bam, I had a crappy day. After all, are you in control over everything?
Let's
No, you're
glide,
not.
Doc. Passing you the sugar.
Whether
Yeah.
your job or school or your friends, each person has their own freedom, right? But the goal for yourself each day is as you deal with the bad crap every day, you are going to treat yourself good to compensate for the bad stuff you do for the day. You will hit and explode like a volcano, right?
Yeah.
Because you stored everything. But like I said, it's okay. It needs to happen if you need to cry. Like I said, grieve, do what you gotta do. And sometimes if you stored all that for years, it's gonna take time.
Especially when you've built a lot of bad habits, and you gotta break those habits as well. I also get triggered from like small things. Like if my mom just mentions like I need to make more money, I'm not making enough money, like I'll immediately want to drink. You know what I mean?
But that's the
Enemy
thing
right here.
too, is that like I
Passing you
said,
that
you
sugar. You done
can't
good,
control
Doc.
what she
Come
does,
back
right?
now.
Mhm.
But one of the
Just giving my
things
shields
that
a
you
recharge.
also need to think about is boundaries. See, people put boundaries in the wrong place. You always need to have boundaries for yourself. And that's what I meant by when you learn to love yourself, it's not like
what?
you have to sit
Oh
there
my
and be
God.
like, you okay, kiddo? It's not like you have to sit there and be
Left
like,
hand's back on
oh,
our
well,
feet.
I gotta be happy, lovey-dovey to
Let's get
myself
some
every
air.
day. No. It's okay to admit when you're like, you know
Eagle
what, I've
Squad
had
is
too much I
approaching
can handle.
victory.
I can't take this anymore. I need to take a step back, right?
Yeah.
Or if I feel overwhelmed, like if you hear something, like something triggering, like you just brought up, right? And instead of automatically thinking,
Put down
okay,
a
you know what,
halo.
I just need to blow
Gotcha.
off steam.
Just giving my shields a recharge.
You gotta realize, okay, I'm at my limit when she says this. And you can communicate with her and just say, hey mom, when you say that, it really does stress me out because I love you, right? And I want to try to support you, but it really makes me sad and stressed out.
Mhm.
One of the things that really humbled me, like I said, in regards to my son, was I remember when I was before going through the divorce, I found out there was a lot of debt, right?
Yeah.
That unfortunately, spouse at the time had racked up a lot of debt. And I remember, because I always like try to pay my bills on time, built up my credit, and then all of a sudden I found a bunch of collection orders. And I was just like, okay, it really hurt me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting there looking at these bills and wondering, like, what am I gonna do? Feeling overwhelmed and wanting to cry and wanting to shut down. And I just was like, okay, you know what? But I just need to suck it up so that I can be happy and be there for my son. And this little guy, I woke up the next day and he had this piggy bank that we would give him like little coins and, money, and he would like stuff it in his piggy bank. Well, I woke up the next morning, and mind you, this kid is like, what? You were like 3 or 4?
Oh,
Yeah. and I woke up, and on top of these collection letters was his huge little pig. So I'm looking at this pig, and I'm like, when did this child come in here?
Aww.
Like people. So then I walked over to my son, and I just looked at him. I said, "Hey, kiddo, you left your piggy bank, on my desk." And he looked at me and he said, "Mommy, my money's your money." And he goes, "Mommy, you take care of those papers so you're not sad anymore."
Oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah, you're blessed. Oh my goodness. Oh, that is amazing.
And you know what's the craziest thing? I looked at him, and right then and there, I got out of that pit of sadness, that it just snapped me out, and I was like, "Oh, now, kiddo, this is your piggy bank." I said, "I love you so much." And his actions, like when I told him, "Take your piggy bank back, kid,"
Yeah.
and right away it's like something clicked in me, and I was like, "Nope, I've got to be better than this," And the craziest thing was, it snapped my head out of it enough for me to come up with a game plan, to where I was able to haggle with the creditors and stuff like that and get it reduced and get it paid off. But it's moments like that really, it really actually humbled me, but also scared me that he's so young and he picked up on that, right?
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Because here I am trying to like hide it all in, to be happy for him. But he noticed that I was sad and heartbroken. But having that acknowledgement and having that snapback, that's what will help you. And knowing the boundaries of, I've had enough that I needed to handle today. Communication skills are very important, right? But how can you communicate if you're not honest with your emotions, if you shut them down, right?
Yeah.
So being able to say, hey, is it possible for you to not say that, right? Because after all, if the person's not willing to change, then you need to change, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's
To adjust
also
the situation, right?
what
So
that.
if you talk to your mom, and she's like, she can't help herself, right? Because she's so stressed. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed out, right? Then take a step back and just tell yourself, okay, you know what? Like, she's clearly too stressed to be able to, fulfill my request so that I'm not stressed. So then what other alternatives do I have? You know what? I'm just going to take a step back. I don't know if you're working or not, but guess what? Even if you take $5 out of your paycheck and give it to her and just be like, because I don't know whether you pay a fortune to her or not. But the point is, if you don't, then just give her a little bit, right? Minus what you're taking care of for yourself. And just be like, hey, Mom, I love you. I know it's not much, but let me give you this money. Because sometimes, being a parent is so hard and overwhelming, right?
For
and
sure.
You said your mom, she does care about you and things like that. So giving her the money, it may help her realize, like, hey, I don't want this to affect my child. I need to step up to the plate and use my brain and figure it out, right?
Yeah.
And maybe if you can give her more, then just give her a little bit more. The whole point is that, like I said, you can't control other people, but you can control yourself, right? And at least by giving a little bit and then just saying, okay, now I'm going to take a step back. And then I'm going to tell myself, you know what, I'm just going to give to her instead what I can give to her while covering my own responsibilities
Care
right?
package being delivered.
And I'm gonna go and enjoy my days.
I'm
that's
gonna
what I
try
learned
that
from my-
out.
Huh?
I said I'm gonna try that out actually.
Yeah, because sometimes, I mean, like I said, the first instinct is to shut down,
Hey,
right?
Doc.
Is to be
You follow
upset,
them now,
is
right?
to be
Hey,
sad,
Doc, come on
you
back.
know? Like,
Yeah.
and it hurts, right? You're just overwhelmed and you wanna go into your own bubble, right? Lock out the world. But instead of doing that, like I said,
Just
do it
giving
out
my
of love.
shields a recharge.
You know, if you're like, okay, I know she's struggling too. Well, let me even give her $5 or maybe get her like a little box of chocolates or who knows,
Care
right?
package being
You know your mom's the best. If she likes a little
Oh.
something, then give her something. But giving her whatever money you can with each paycheck will remind her, like, hey, you know what? You're not alone going through this, Mom. I love you. Because sometimes even parents need love too. It's a lot of responsibility.
Doc.
You know?
For sure.
And by doing that, maybe it'll help her realize too that it's okay for her to realize, like, hey, I'm stressed the heck out. But thank you, kid. You know?
Yeah.
I honestly feel like if there was more love in this
You're coming
world,
with me, Doc.
Attention.
there wouldn't be so many
Delivering
care
Oh my
package
God.
It's just
sponsored by
people are so
Chevron.
scarred
Just giving
and
my
they're
shields a
hurt.
recharge.
And meanwhile, rotten apples are getting away with crap, right?
Yeah.
But I figured for everyone that's good, you know, and they're holding on to scars, it's okay. Show a little love. Enjoy love from your pets or,
Let's
you
get
know,
some
love
air,
from your
Doc.
friends. And, you know, I'm happy you have this little online community that also looks out for you and accepts you, right? So you do have good things, and then just pass around the love. And there's too much
Just
toxicity
giving
and
my
negativity
shit.
in these, right? And who the hell wants to deal with that?
Literally.
That's what I told my kid. I'm like, dude, you dealt with shit at work, man.
Oh my God.
Let's just go and enjoy our day, you know?
That's a good point, honestly.
I don't need more shit, you know? Because like,
Let's get some
And I
air.
think that's why I DoorDash. I got done with dealing with like just people that are not worth my time. I felt like, you know what I mean?
yeah, oh yeah, like, you know, it's so funny because my son was like, you know, Mom, you're like a hermit. You spent so much time in a cave, Mom. And I was like, oh, and he's like,
Care
the world hasn't
package
changed
being
when you were
delivered.
hiding out as a
Sponsored by
hermit.
Chevron.
You know, there's good people out there, and also I remember I used to work at UPS, and I have some bad memories, but I also remember meeting some great people there. Just as customers, my boss was pretty nice. It's just, you know, people can be draining, but when you embrace the good times, it's a lot better than the bad times when you think about it.
And when people are draining, like for example, those people, they don't know how to leave work at work.
Right,
You know,
right.
like you wonder why lawyers have such a high divorce rate in their own marriages. Well, think about it. They spend all day arguing, right? Arguing with people, dealing with people. So they come home, or if they lose a court case, they come home, and then they see their spouse. What's the first thing they're gonna do? They end up arguing with their spouse because they can't shut it off. And that's why I always remind my children, like, learn your limits so that you can set up boundaries.
Right.
So whatever happened at work, so it was a shitty day. Bad shit happened at work. Is it gonna change anything? Not really, right? So why carry that home
Fuck.
when you know it's not gonna change, right?
Recharging my shields.
So leave it at the door. Set up that boundary. Be like, you know that whole saying, like, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas?
Let's glide.
Yeah.
Like, everyone can use that by saying, hey, what happens at work is left at work. What happens at school is left at school.
Got my
Like,
halo
set up
here.
boundaries that you
Just
need
giving my
to so
shields a
that you
recharge.
guys can have a sanctuary. Because you at least need one sanctuary, right? So
Yeah.
that whether you get home from work, you have a sanctuary. Leave the stuff that you can't control
Attention.
where it belongs, which is not in your
Oh
life.
my God.
outside of work.
Fucking
Too many
Charge the
people
rampage.
they carry things home, but when they don't have to, right?
Right.
Or like some people are like, oh, I got a crap ton of, like, I need to get these reports and files turned in by tomorrow. Well, guess what? But your job's already over. You can't take the work home, right? So then why hold on to that? You know, instead tell yourself, okay, you know what? I'm
have
proud of
our own
myself
champion.
that at least I got done what I needed to get done. Since I obviously cannot continue any further, you know, let me just leave this at the door. I'm gonna head home. I'm gonna de-stress, and I'm gonna share a lot of laughs or entertain myself, right? Because then what happens? You get enough energy, you know, to then you might be inspired. You're like, hey, you know what? I had a good day today after work, so guess what? I'm gonna get some sleep, and maybe I'll go in an hour early and take care of those reports. I always tell all my children, if you are in that happy state, that relaxed state, you will be more productive than if you're sad and depressed. If you're sad, depressed, and angry, why would you want to do anything? You're not going to want to do anything.
Right.
So then, if you try to do something while you're angry, sad, and depressed, how much are you really going to get done, anyways? Do you not have more of a chance to mess things up? But if you are happy and relax and you're like, hey, you know what? I dealt with the stress. I left this at work. That's okay. Leave it at the door. Now what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to enjoy my day. And all of a sudden, it's like, bam. Like one of my son's friends, they work together at the same place. Well, she just happened to have a really bad day. Found out like because her car broke down. You know, there was paycheck issues, like all sorts of craziness happened all in one day.
Yeah.
And she was upset, angry, sad, frustrated, and, it was clear that she was struggling. And then so I pointed out to her, I said, you know what? It's okay, honey. You know, paycheck stuff happens. And I know you were expecting it today because they literally, there was a snafu so that she had to actually pick up her paycheck. Direct deposit wasn't working. But I told her, I said, do you really need the money right now? And she thought about it. She goes, well, no, not really. And I said, okay. So you just let them know you handle what you can handle. Solution is just pick it up Monday so that you could just enjoy your weekend. After all, it's Friday. And then in regards to her car, it was like the matter of talking to the mechanic, getting her car in, and I just told her it's okay. Because can you control the mechanic store? Can you control the paycheck company that gives you this paycheck? And she was like, no. So I said, did you not do the best that you can do? She thought about it. She was like, yeah. And I said, okay, so I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you. So I know it's hard because you're frustrated. It sucks. But if you can, for me, take a deep breath and let it go. Grab a treat, enjoy some food, and just focus on enjoying your weekend. And she thought about that and she was like, of course she was still venting and de-stressing, which is okay. And then all of a sudden she realized, wait, you know what? I do want to do this. I want to relax and I want to do that. And the thing was that as she did that, later on, she then decided, she was like, oh, you know what? I do feel like getting some cleaning done, before I go enjoy my weekend.